Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhavan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Guru Deva, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, and yourself, Maharaj.
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you. Yes.
Good to have you here today, Maharaj.
What is it?
Said good to have you here today, Maharaj.
Yes. We are meeting for the first time in New Year, huh? Right?
In New Year, yes. Hare Krishna.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
So may I put the verse on the screen and then we start?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth device is connected. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Bluetooth.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Oh yeah. This is the verse, okay.
Yes, this is the verse.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Devaya. Narayam Namakrishna Naram Sevadam Jatam Tato Jamitayet Astaprayeshu Habadreshu Nitam Bhagavatasya Vaya Bhagavatu Tham Sloke Bhakti Bhavatinasti. Reading from SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, Canto 1, Chapter 13, Text 8. Yudhishthirvacha apti smaratayo yusmat akshat jaya sameditam ipat ganat vista gander mokitayat samakritaha. Yudhishthirvacha, Maharaj said, apti, whether smaratha, you remember, naha, that's smart, from you, aksha, partiality towards us like the wing of the bird, chaya, protection, sameditan, we who were brought up by you, ipat ganat, from various types of calamities, these by administration of poison, agni adehe, by setting on fire, mokitaha, release from gaps, what you have done, along with makitaha, our mother. Translation purport by Son Grace Abhay Charavinam Srila Prabhupada Maharaj. Translation. Maharaj Yudhishthir said, my uncle, do you remember how you always protected us along with our mother from all sort of calamities? You pass your partiality like the wings of the bird, saved us from poisoning and arson. Due to Pandu's death at an early age, his minor children and widow were the objects of special care by all the elderly members of the family, especially Bhishmadev and Mahatma Vidur. Vidura was more or less partial to the Pandavas due to their political position. Although Dhritarashtra was equally careful for the minor children of Maharaj Pandu, he was one of the intriguing parties. He wanted to wash away the descendants of Pandu and replace them by raising his own sons to become the rulers of the kingdom. Mahatma Vidur could follow this intrigue of Dhritarashtra and company, and therefore, even though he was a faithful servitor of his eldest brother, Dhritarashtra, he did not like his ambition for the sake of his own sons. He was therefore very careful about the protection of the Pandavas and their widow mother. Thus, he was, so to speak, partial to the Pandavas, referring them to the son of Dhritarashtra, although both of them were equally affectionate in his ordinary eyes. He was equally affectionate to both the Camp's nephews. They said that he always chastised Durdan for his intriguing policy against his cousins. He always criticized his head brother for his policy of encouragement to his sons. And at the same time, he was always alert in giving special protection to the Pandavas. all these different activities of Vidura within the palace politics made him well known as partial to the Pandavas. Maharaj Yudhishthira has referred to the past history of Vidura before his going away from home from a prolonged pilgrim's journey. Maharaj Yudhishthira reminded him that he was equally kind and partial to his grown-up nephews even after the battle of Kurukshetra, a great family disaster. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, Dhritarashtra policy was peaceful annihilation of his nephews, and therefore he ordered Kuruchana to build a house of lake at the Varanavata. And when the building was finished, Dhritarashtra desired that his brother's family live there for some time. When the Pandavas were going there in the presence of all the members of the royal family, Vidura tactfully gave instruction to the Pandavas about the future plan of Dhritarashtra. This is specially described in the Mahabharata, Adi Parva 144. He indirectly hinted, even a weapon not made of steel or any other material element can be used can be more than sharp enough to kill an enemy. And he who knows this is never killed. That is to say, he hinted that the party of the Pandavas were being sent to Varanavata to be killed. And thus, he warned Yudhishthira to be very careful in the nephew's residential palace. He also gave indication of fire and said that fire cannot extinguish the soul, but can annihilate the material body. But one who protects the soul can live. Kunti could not follow such a direct conversation between Maharaj Yudhishthira and Vidur. And thus, when she inquired from her son about the purpose of the conversation, Yudhishthira replied that from the talk of Vidura, it was understood that there was a hint of fire in the house where they were proceeding. Later on, Vidura came in disguise to the Pandavas and informed them that the housekeeper was going to set fire to the house on the 14th night of the waning moon. It was an intrigue of the Dhritarashtra that the Pandavas might die altogether with their mother. And by his warning of the Pandavas, the Pandavas escaped through the tunnel underneath the huts. So that the escape was also known as was also unknown to Dhritarashtra. So much so that after setting the fire, the Kauravas were so certain of the death of the Pandavas that Dhritarashtra performed the last rites of death with great cheerfulness. And during the morning period, all the members of the palace became overwhelmed with lamentation. But Vidura did not become so because of his knowledge that the Pandavas were alive somewhere. There are many such instances of calamities, and each of them Vidura gave protection to the Pandavas on one hand, and on the other hand, he tried to restrain his brother Dhritarashtra from such enslaving policies. Therefore, he was always partial to the Pandavas, just as a bird protects its eggs by its wings. Om Madhyanam Tinadasya Jana Jana Salakaya Takshominitam Natasma Shurave Namaha Ishitanamano Tam Sapita Yenabutale Ayam Hupa Kadahayam Datam Bana Vandyam Sri Guru Shyuta Parakamalam Survashva Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Ragunatam Savarutam Paritam Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam KRSNA Pada Saha Vananta Sri Vidakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Nabandhu Jakapate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Ladakanta Namoste Tapchakana Gunangi Rate Visavana Svare Visavana Sutadevi Pranamami Hare Bhamchakalpatarum Jasta Kripa Sanu Jahevta Tanam Pravin Video Vaishnavidyo Namo Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Tirtha Swaminiti Namine Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Satmane Gaura Karuna Sakti Bhakti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarvasi Deve Gaura Panitayane Nirveshri Satsanyavadi Patchari Tatane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Gari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukam Kalotiva Charam Bangam Radete Girim Yakhi Badaram Vande Shri Gurum. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. This is my first class, this platform, this new here. So again, I would like to wish very blissful and Krishna conscious New Year to everyone. And I seek the blessing of Srila Prabhupada, or GBC, Srila Gurunes, Srila Kalpana Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Damodar Maharaj, His Grace Srivas Manachari, all the assembled devotees, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. I seek the blessing so that I can do something wonderful for my own purification. Hare Krishna. SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM Seva Ki Jai. Yes, so we this very nice chapter, 13. Dhritarashtra quits home. Yeah. So Dhritarashtra is quitting home now. There are a lot of things in the prophet. So many things. Yeah, so we can from the one paragraph, the first step says Yudhishthir Maharaj speaks to Vidura that you always protect us along with our mother from all sorts of calamities, and you and your partiality, like the wing of birds, saves us from poisoning and accident. This word here, partiality. The partial, in one sense, is not good. A father who has many children and is partial, or let's say you are running a temple and you are partial to devotees. You favor some devotees and they don't favor some. Partiality. The one verse Krishna says, I'm not partial to anyone. So to be partial in one sense, not good. But just like the whole Battle of Kurukshetra, you can clearly see that Krishna was partial. The Panavat. Is there anything wrong to be partial to good people? Is it wrong? No, it's not wrong. Yeah. See, so yeah, BC Maharaj is clearly saying that yes, you always protect us from along with our mother from so many calamities. Your partiality, like wings of the birds, save us from poisoning and out. Yeah. So when we all know that Pandu, that very young, very young. So his children stay under the care of this other member of the family, namely Bhishma Dev and Vidur, Mahatma Vidur. But right in the beginning, Dhritarashtra and his son start making some demoniac plans, to rule, control everything. It was clear that Dhritarashtra preferred his son. Well, yes, of course, Dhritarashtra was partial to his son. And Vidura was also partial to the Pandavas. Yeah. So Vidura was very careful about the protection of the Pandavas. The mother, the widow, and the widow mother was, so to speak, partial to the Pandavas. That is the word, partial. Yeah. So if you can see that Krishna promised many places in Bhagavad Gita that he will always protect his devotees. Kunteya Panditanihi Name Bhakta Pranakati. Declare boldly, O son of Kunti, that my devotee will never perish. Yes. Because obviously Krishna was partial to Arjuna. He decided that yes, I'm not going to be part of this war. I'll give my army to one part, and myself I will be supporting one part. I will not fight. But when Arjuna was about to be killed by Bhishma, Krishna could not resist. This is love. So I was saying that there's nothing wrong to be partial to good people. Yes, be partial. So just like the beginning of the particular folk session, it was compared to a rice field. The rice field, we have the real rice and some weeds, that look like rice. So you don't take time, you don't uproot them, they will also grow. And when it's time to harvest, you find yourself with very small quantity of rice. So it is better to remove the bad, the weeds that are going to prevent the real seeds to grow. Same thing also, we see that in our hearts. Many times we know, we can read the economy. You can see that in our heart we have different seeds. We have bad seeds in our hearts. Karma beach, Jana beach, Jana yoga beach. There. Then we, through the master, the Bhakti Lata beach is planted. It's so. So we need to water it, take care of it, and removing the weeds, so that plant Bhakti Lata, which will grow more and more and more and bear some fruits. So we need, you see, a farmer has to be partial with the real seeds and the wrong seeds. If you say, okay, all right, they are all my son, I love you, all of you to same way. You cannot be a good farmer that way. Same thing also, a father must identify his son who is good. In fact, in the beginning, when Vidura, Dhritarashtra, his first son, when he was born, Vidura approached him that look, this your son is going to be the cause of the trouble of the family. Better you destroy him now. Now. Not tomorrow. Now. That Rasta do not listen. Because he has affection, with son, which is something natural. That we in the Vedic literature we have something that called apatya son, the son that can destroy the family. That's why the Sanskrit word putra. Putra means the one who can free the family. Putra. Who means son? Tra means to free. The son can liberate the family. That's why in the Vedic, especially in India, people they want male child, especially the first one. Person is afraid to have a male child, so that he can do the Shraddha ceremony for the forefather, for the father and the family. Yeah. That the son which is not putra, he can put his family into trouble. He can put his family into trouble. See, if you have a good son, that good son is for the whole country, the whole village. When you yes, this boy is from our village, from our village. Even you can see, even now the people are playing football now. If you are good, you are a good player. Yes, it's about. But if you go and do something wrong, they will identify you from your village. This guy is from that such village. So if you do something good, then you belong to the whole country. But if you do something bad, you appear on TV, on the radio, and the newspaper, they'll point out your family there. This family is from this family. So everyone wants good child. So if you have good child, of course, you are going to love them more than those who are not. Yeah. So Vidura was always criticizing his elder brother, Dhritarashtra, for his policy of encouraging his son, and at the same time was always giving special protection to the Pandavas. Yeah. So that is in the Vedic culture, in the Vedic time, people were having what is called the word of honor. When they say something, they must respect that. So Vidura was known as Sadhu, a very nice person. So you can never betray his character. It's called moral integrity. He knew very well that Dhritarashtra was a politician. He's a politician. At the same time, he has to protect the Pandavas. So he was always criticizing openly Dhritarashtra that what we are doing is not interesting. It's not good. See? So we have to see that the partiality is like life is a choice. Either we choose the wrong way or the right way. Just like, the three energies are there, the three Shaktis, Taranga Shakti, Bayanang Shakti, and Tatasa. We are in the middle. Which side do we choose? If you choose the Taranga Shakti, then we will perform devotional service, to progress, or meet Krishna. But if you choose Bayananga Shakti, then to be in Maya. And the choice is ours. We need to make the proper choice. So in our dealings every day, we must choose the right things always. And we have to put our intelligence, our energy, and the mind into the right place, or give to the right person. It's like that's a famous story. Everyone knows that story, about the crocodile and the monkey. They were friends. So at the point, the monkey was always giving some nice fruits to crocodile, and the crocodile went to his wife and said, "Yes, Well, ask him, where do you get this nice food? Say, oh, it's my friend. Eventually, the wife said, okay, bring your friend. He has some nice fruits, so probably his heart also could be very nice. Please bring him. Crocodile also foolish. He went to tell monkey, hey, my wife wants to see. And monkey said, I can't swim, no problem. Get on my back. When they were going in the middle of the river, and crocodile knows that monkey doesn't know how to swim. Can swim small distance, but in the middle, difficult. And say, oh, you know what? Actually, my wife actually wants to eat your your heart. The monkey said, what? You could have mentioned to me earlier. Now what to do? Please, reverse back. Because I forgot my heart on the trees. So, police crocodile reverse back, and when they get to the riverside, then monkey chop off the back of the crocodile and bye-bye. What the meaning of the story is that we should always put our heart, mind, and intelligence in the right place. Even though we are in this material world, doing all kind of activities, all kind of jobs, but we should always remember. Just like gopis, no? Or they're always serving the elderly gopis. Even though they are serving their husband, they are always thinking of Krishna in secret. So we should do the same thing. We can perform all kind of activities in this material world, but we should know where we are coming from. We are not citizens from this material world. We know very well and play our part, and at the time of leaving the body, remember Krishna and go back to Godhead. So we need to be partial also in our dealing. In our daily dealing, be partial with things. When situation appears to us in front of us, and we have to decide what is the right direction, what is the wrong direction. We must get a sense of discrimination. Discriminate, the word discriminate is not good. Discriminate. You know? But to discriminate the good from the bad is good. Yes. Discrimination. So we have to be partial. Yes, this time for a joke. This time for this to be serious. This is a good song. This is a bad song. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, so the Yudhishthir refer to the first story of Vidura before he's going away from home for pilgrimage. Now we remember that in the third canto, I think that's third canto, one day Vidura was giving advice to Dhritarashtra, and Duryodhana was absent. When he came in, he saw, he met Vidura, talking bad against him. He was very, very angry and asked the father, who asked this son of a Sudri, who allow him to enter here? He should be beaten and till death. So when Dura had this insult, actually he had been tolerating for so many years, for long period. But that one was very difficult to tolerate. So at that day, he decided to quit. Okay. It's like now today, the title of the chapter is Dhritarashtra quits home. So before Dhritarashtra quit home, Vidura first left. When he left, he went to pilgrimage. So in the mundane family, there is always conspiration, there is always politics. There is always actually the Kali Yuga means hypocrisy, quarrel and religion. You can find that in the mundane families, in kingdoms, so-called kings of this age now. They do politics, they do conspiration, all sort of bad things to bring everyone down. So Vidura has to fix the body. And it was a stand somewhere in the Shila Baba that expression is to put the body into fire. Means at the point in our life, we have to make a serious decision to move forward in our devotional service, in our Krishna consciousness, in our spiritual activity. Sometimes it can be, slowing down, moving at our own time, thinking that we have time. But sometimes something very serious happens, and we decide that yes, it is time to be serious. Just like the aphorism of BHAGAVATAM, Atato Brahma Jijasa. Atato Brahma Jijasa. Now, yes, it is time of serious matter. Atato Brahma Jijasa. So, at the point in our life, we have to take a serious decision. Vidura was saying so many, bad things in the palace. It was tolerating. When Vidura, when Duryodhana insulted him, he could not accept that. He has to leave the palace. So Vidura also was tactfully when the Pandavas were going to another place. Vidura gave advice to the Pandavas, look, be careful. Because the Tarasara is always making plans to destroy you. They're making plans to kill you. So he alerted them. He spoke in I call it in a parable. Parable. That's what is this? You can show it on the screen. Nice parable. Yeah. The purpose. Yeah. Again. Yeah. Okay. I think then again. Yeah. Yes. Okay. This is physically described in the Mahabharata. He indirectly entered. Even a weapon not made of steel or any other material elements can be more than sharp enough to kill an enemy. And he who knows this is never killed. So that is to say, he entered the party of the Pandavas. The Pandavas was being sent to Varanavata to be killed, and thus he wanted to be very careful in their new residential parts. He also gave indication of fire and said that fire cannot extinguish the soul, but can annihilate. The place. That can annihilate the material body. That one who protects the soul can live. Kunti could not follow such a direct conversation between Maharaj Yudhishthira and Vidura. Thus, when she inquired from her son about the purport of the conversation, Yudhishthira replied that from the talk of Vidura, it was understood that there was a hint of fire in the house where they were proceeding. Later on, so you see, Kunti being a lady, a poor lady, could not understand the language of politicians. No, politicians, they have language. No? Politicians, they have language. They have some codes. See, though Yudhishthira, Maharaj and Mahatma Vidur, they were also politicians. So they knew how to talk among themselves. So poor Kunti could not understand what was going on. But, Yudhishthira could understand the message, the message Yudhishthira. So he was very careful. When they got there, and what is his name? He put fire on the. Actually, they were sent there to be killed. Yeah. So he put fire on the, and also Vidura came in disguise. He tell them, look, on the 14th day of the waning moon, the housekeeper is going to set fire in the house. So you can see that Vidura is not an ordinary person. Yeah, Vidura is the son of Vyasa. His mother was Madri, Sudan. So he could not be, accepted as one of the parents also. But he was very, 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 very intelligent. Very intelligent. He was a seer. So it gives advice, it gives a hint to the Pandavas that look, careful. Where you're going to meet your death. Let me tell them, on the 14th day, on the 14th night of the waning moon, this house, the housekeeper was going to set fire in the house. So they were alert, they were knew what was going on. So it is there. It's the one famous Hindu proverb. Rake Krishna Mare Krishna Rake. See, all the way, the Pandavas have been protected by Krishna through Vidura. Rake Krishna Mare Krishna Rake. Who Krishna wants to kill, nobody can protect. Who Krishna wants to protect, nobody can kill. See, so we can see that from the Mahabharata, technically speaking, the Kauravas could have destroyed the Pandavas in 1 second, technically speaking, because there were many in number. They were having the most sophisticated weapons. They were having the best, army generals. See? They were having so much advantage over the Pandavas. So who won the battle? That is a material mathematics. We prefer to select what the quantity, not the quality. So he said, Prabhupada says, everything we have zero. Many zeros, useless. Zeros plus zero plus zero plus zero, zero. I just put one before these thousands and thousands of zero come their value. So all the army, the soldiers of the Kauravas were like zero. Krishna was only one person. One person represents everything. That is the mistake of the mundane world now. The scientists and those materialistic people, they don't believe that yes, Krishna or God can do everything. They want to accumulate so many things. By saying that by accumulating things, they will be happy. Yes. So Krishna, in so many ways, he protected the Pandavas. Many situations, Arjuna was about to be killed. You see, when Karna went to study with what is his name, Parashuram, as a Kshatriya, he disguised himself as a Brahman. The Guruji asked him, "Are you a Brahman?" He said, "Yes, I'm a Brahman." "Are you a Brahman?" He said, "Yes." That time, so he was taking lesson from the Guru, from Parashuram. And the incident showed that he was not a Brahman, he was a Kshatriya. When he was bitten by a scorpion, he could tolerate that scorpion bite. It was a clear indication that he was a Kshatriya, not a Brahmana. Brahmanas, they are very honest. Brahmana is hungry, say, "I'm hungry." Brahmana is tired, say, "I'm tired, I want to sleep." But the Kshatriyas, They want to always show that yes, they are resistant. So, Parasuram cursed Karna. They say you want to use the mantra or the knowledge I gave you, you forget it. So one day, Karna was face to face with Arjuna, was about to kill, and shot the arrow that the wheel of the chariot got stuck in the mud. That's how it was killed. Many instances where Arjuna was about to be killed. You remember the story of this Jadata? Arjuna told Krishna, hey, look, today, before sunset, I must kill Jadata. Look what he did to Drupal. It's not good. I must take revenge. He must die before sunset. Krishna said, what about if you are not able to kill him? Arjuna said, I'll kill myself. Okay. Krishna smiled. Krishna smiled. So, during the battle, Arjuna could not kill Jadata. And the sun was going to set, very dark. Krishna can never abandon his devotees. Never. They did something that nobody has done. They said Jesus Christ walked on the sea, did so many things, but we never heard that Jesus Christ brought back the sun. The sun came back. Why? He did that because he wanted to protect his food. Arjuna was they already prepared the wood for cremation, everything. Ready. But Krishna saved him again. So many instances Krishna protected the Pandavas. So, but in Bhagavad Gita, the very last verse of Bhagavad Gita. Yatha Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatha Patotarundhara, Yatha Sri Jayabhuti, Duvaliki Matir Mama. This verse, 4 things await the devotees. 4 things await the devotees. Opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. Opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. I mean, when you study Bhagavad Gita, the last verse tells you, wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, you're going to get victory, you're going to get, opulence, you're going to get extraordinary power, you're going to get morality. What are we looking for? Why sometimes devotees complain? So then if you have problem in our life, we don't have Krishna and we don't have Arjuna. Or maybe we have only one. Both are not present. If you have Krishna, the pure devotee must be there. Where is the pure devotee? You can say, okay, Arjuna is not here. Arjuna is there in the form of the pure devotees. Whenever there is Arjuna and Krishna together, success must be there. So if we are devotee and we read Bhagavad Gita, why these 4 things doesn't manifest in our life? Again, we come back to the Nectar Devotion, the book on Nectar Devotion. Your devotion service have 6 characteristics. I always like to mention that. 2, the first 2, Kleshagni. No? Second one is Subhada. Kleshagni means when you practice serious devotion service, all the 3 types of suffering, Adibodhi Klesha, Adidevi Klesha, Adhyatmika Klesha, they will disappear. Completely disappear. It is there in the Nectar Devotion. And second one, it is Subhada, means everything around you will be auspicious. Bring auspiciousness. Every morning we do Mangalarati. What is the meaning of Mangalarati? Mangalarati means auspicious arati. Mangala. We will see the time is too early. 4:30. So you cannot understand the meaning of that arati. Mangal harati. It is very auspicious. So if we have we read Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna promises these four things: opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. Listen, so you see, Kali Yuga is we all know that Kali Yuga has already been declared as the age of hypocrisy, quarrel, and dharma, religion. So don't make a plan to change it. It's not possible, because it is a decision taken by Krishna himself. Every yuga has its characteristics. This one, quarrel, hypocrisy, and religion. Nobody can change that unless the next yuga, such a yuga, you have truthfulness. Not now. So does it mean that? So it means what? What does it mean? It means that if you just sit down there without performing something very serious, we always face quarrel, hypocrisy, and religion. See? So in this material world, we are trying to adjust with the effects of the cause. There's one cause, there's many effects. We're trying to deal with the effects of the cause. What is the cause? The cause of being in this material world is the real cause of our problem. Not the effects. There are many effects. The one cause. By being in this material world, it is the problem in itself. Being here only, it is the problem itself in itself. Not the consequence of being here. There are many. The fact that we are here is always the problem. It's always the problem. So we have to take the right side. They are listening like that. The Mahatma Vidur is partial. Yes, Krishna also is partial to devotees. If we are devotees of Lord Krishna, Krishna will always protect us. No doubt. If Prabhu can mention the Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, verse 56 to 59. You can read them. Very interesting. Krishna promised that he will always give us protection. Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, verse 56 to 59. Yeah. Interesting. I can take it here. Take it from my book here. Yeah. 56 says what? Let's go to the translation. So engage in all kind of activities, my pure devotees under my protection, which is the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. Next verse. Yeah. In all activities, just depend on me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Next verse. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Next verse. If you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. So Krishna promised that we have to listen to him, we have to take advantage of his instruction from Bhagavad Gita. Then we will always be victorious. We knew that the Pandavas were going to be saved. That's why at the bottom of the purport, when the fire was set on the palace, Dhritarashtra made a big feast. Was jubilating with With the Kauravas, yes, today this is the last. All the Pandavas with the mother, they have gone. People were mourning. Lamenting. But Vidura was sitting there in the corner, was not lamenting, because he knew that days before the accident happened, the Pandavas left. Okay? So this is our life. We should also be always, in the good hands with Krishna. Krishna has already mentioned to us that he will always protect us. Bhagavad 18:16. Always abandon everything. Don't worry. I will give you protection. The assurance of Krishna is there that he will protect us. We need to have faith. I think we have a serious problem with faith. Huh? Sometimes we need to check what is the meaning of faith. What is the sum? What is the quality of our faith? What is the quality of our faith? Faith means I'm 100% sure that this devotion service is the right path. That Krishna will always be there for me, no matter the situation. That's the Pandavas. So Krishna directly protected them, and also through his pure devotees also. Yeah. So the Pandavas, they escaped so many calamities. They were poisoned. There were so many things. They escaped. Why? Because they were having Krishna by side. So they used to see Bhagavad Gita, the cover of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is driving. That's why it's Parthasasti. Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjuna. Why? Krishna is a driver? No. But the meaning is that if we have Krishna as our driver, then there's going to be zero accidents in our life. If Krishna is directing our chariots, our life, means no accidents, no problem. But we put Krishna at the back. We are driving Krishna. Foolish as we are. We are driving Krishna. Instead of being driven by Krishna, we are driving Krishna. So many accidents we are making. So partiality is not bad when it is applied to good people. Krishna was partial to the Pandavas because they were good thieves. Our daily thing, ourselves, if we put ourselves in the position of Krishna and or Vidura, we do the same thing. Yes. We like good, everybody likes good things. We want to select the best thing every day. Yeah. So this partiality of Vidura is not bad. Because Vidura knew that the Pandavas, they are good thieves. Dhritarashtra is blind. Nobody is blind. He cannot see, and also his mind is not open. He was born blind, and also spiritually blind. And third blindness is shown. Duryodhana also not a blind guy, not a blind person. So from all angles, Dhritarashtra was blind. Was having a very bad son who could not give him proper advices. You see? Yeah. So it is 4 o'clock. Maybe we have some comments and some questions. Welcome.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for the wonderful class as usual. His Grace Srivas Vanachari is here. If you have something to say, probably before anybody asks a question. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
This
Yes,
is a
brothers,
Muhammad instances. All glories to Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. So thank you for your wonderful class.
Thank you for your appreciation.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I was just thinking about this Duryodhana character.
Yes.
Yeah, this Duryodhana character he is responsible for all the calamities in the Kaurava family.
Yes.
Yet, Dhritarashtra was so attached to him. You mentioned how Vidura had warned Dhritarashtra from the very beginning when Duryodhana was born.
Yes.
But Dhritarashtra could not accept that. So he kept Duryodhana, and eventually Duryodhana became the cause of the destruction of the Kaurava family.
Yes.
So my question is it kind of destined that Dhritarashtra would not listen to the good advice of Vidura, so that all these calamities will come upon the Kaurava family? Is it already destined? Because no matter what was said about Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra would not accept. So my question is it already destined that that was to happen? And that's why, even though Dhritarashtra had such a good counsel like Vidura, yet he did not accept that advice.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. When you are dealing with pure devotees, you can say it is Krishna's arrangement. And the pure devotees are just like when Kunti, she was suffering a lot. She was even praying for more problems for her to remember Krishna. And in the case of those who are not and pure devotees, yes, you can talk of destiny. That Dhritarashtra was born blind. There is a reason for that. That's once somebody takes birth as a blind person, must be some kind of karma. And also having, sorry to say it, a very stupid son like Jordan is also another karma. Yeah, so it is, yes, the destiny for Dhritarashtra to have such a son, and not and also at the same time having a good advisor like a Vidura, Mahatma Vidura, but he could not listen. Could not listen. So it's a lesson. Yeah, we have been seeing that in this world now. And many people, sometimes people may be good themselves, that they have so many bad advisors. Advisor number 1, number 2, number 3, so many advisors. The point person become confused. Yes. So we say that demons, when they give them nice advice, it's like snake. If you give milk to snake, instead of making you, the snake will turn this milk into poison and bite you. The demons, when you give them advice, they become hungry. Yes. So it is the arranged destiny of Dhritarashtra to have such a son, and because of the devastation of the whole Kurava family. Yes. And from us also, we have to learn from it in our own case, and learn from this Mahabharata stories how we can conduct a very nice family. If you have a good son, okay. If you have a bad son and we are having some advice, we should take advantage of these nice advices. Otherwise, we also perish like Dhritarashtra. So, as I said, love is a choice. We should always ask to make the right choice in our life. In any situation, how to do that? By always being directed from inside by the Paramatma, by Guru and Krishna, by Chitya Guru. Yes. If you are blind externally and also blind externally, that is double blindness. Just like the case of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra does not have a good advisor. You know, Duryodhana is stupid, but on the opposite, Vidura was very lacking person, was very clever, very intelligent person. So could see what is going to happen. So give advice to Dhritarashtra, but it could not. So we have to learn from you can observe all this our politics in this world now. Due to that, now our politicians, they have sometimes they have bad advisors. Bad advisors. You have war, this war, that war, because of some advisors. Sometimes people they say, let me quit my position. Let his colleagues, his advisors say, no, you say that. You go and for another time. Go and say that. Before he realizes, danger is already there. Yeah. So it is the arrangement of Krishna destiny. Hare Krishna. I hope you satisfies you.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. All right, thank you. Anyone else with anything to say? Question? Maharaj, I have one question.
Yes.
It's interesting how almost anything that happens in this world has already happened when we consult the Mahabharata or the Ramayana, where we see a replica of it in there. And my question has to do with shifting of blames, because like you said, His Grace Srivastava was saying about Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. They are like the main people behind this Kurukshetra war. Yet Gandhari, the wife of Dhritarashtra, she cursed Krishna, that Krishna, I curse you, you and your entire dynasty will vanish in 36 years because you could have stopped the war. You did not stop it. But why is Gandhari accusing Krishna? Why didn't she accuse her own husband and her own child?
Yeah. Yes. See, that's the same word partiality. Of course, any mother, even if a mother have a son who is a very terrible armed robber, she will always love him. Yes, it's affection, love and affection.
Yeah.
She cursed Krishna because she cannot accept that the fault is coming from her own son. Dhritarashtra could not accept that the problem was coming from his own son, because he was not does not have a divine eyes. His eyes were not open. Yeah. So Gandhari, as you are saying, Gandhari was just Krishna. Just Krishna, that you did this, you did that, you did because of you, all my sons died. But she did not also remember what the Kauravas did to the remember one time they wrapped Bhima in her neck, and they tie him and put him on the river to be eaten by fishes. You know, so many things they did. Bhima could shake on the horn, shake a tree, and the Pandavas fell down from the tree. All those things. She forgot that. Generally, they just like in the Ramayana also, when Ramachandra killed what is his name, the brother of the valley, I think it was the valley, killed him. He was complaining before dying. He said, "Why are you so, you don't respect the code of war? How can you kill me from my back? It's not, you call yourself a right person? No, you're not a good person." Then Rama told him, "Okay, you are a good person. You took another person's wife." Rama started mentioning what himself did wrong. Sometimes we forgot our own bad deeds, and when the reaction comes, then we accuse. So actually, there is a thing called the karmic agent. When our karma has to meet us, something must carry that karma to us. It is called karmic agent. And that by a car accident, by a gunshot, so many reasons that karma must come. So we don't blame the karmic agents. If you sleep, you don't put mosquito net. A mosquito bites you, and you have a fever or malaria. The cause of the malaria is the mosquito. I don't blame mosquito. Mosquito is looking for blood to drink. You see, so if you have a problem, our karma must meet us through the karmic agents. So don't blame the agents of our karma. Our karma must meet us. Cannot avoid us. We cannot escape our karma. When you sow something, must reap it. Must sow it. Must get it back. So we cannot run away from our reaction. That's why we are Bhagavad Gita is encouraging us to practice devotion service, which is a karma. Doesn't bring any reaction.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Anadi Dinam Prabhu. Anadi Dinam.
Yeah, Krishna Prabhu. Maharaj, please offer my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Okay, yeah, Maharaj, thank you very much. Maharaj, I would like to know, you may mention that Vidura was a son of Sudrani. So I would like to know what necessitates this kind of his quality, or what kind of training did he have to be able to play diplomacy so expertly like this? That is what I wanted to know.
Yeah, see, Vidura is the son of Sudrani, right? And your question is that why he played the role of diplomacy?
Yeah, what necessity this quality that he had? Because being a Sudrani, at least he will be trained in that line. That is my thinking. So what sort of training did he have to the extent that he has able to develop that quality to the extent that he plays a role very expertly when it comes to diplomacy?
Yes.
I hope you understand my question, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Vidura is the son of one of the sons of Vyasa, no? Because Vyasadeva got his first son was Pandu, and second son was Dhritarashtra, third son was Vidura. Because he already got son with the other ladies. So the seventh was the one seventh Sudrani there. So Vyasadeva met that lady, and she gave her to Vidura. See? So Vidura and that seventh was very gentle in character, very nice lady. So being the son of Vyasadeva, don't forget Vyasadeva is the one who compiled the Vedas, the incarnation of Krishna, Veda Vyas, Krishna Vyas. So it's very highly personality, high person. So and his mother also, although Sudri, I mean Sudrani, but she was also very nice character, gentle. So both characters combined, so they produce, they produce a nice son like Vidura. Don't forget that something is called Bhagavatam Samskar. The consciousness of both parents is very important. That will determine the quality of the son that will come. Bhagavatam Samskar. Before a man and a woman meet, sexually, the consciousness they have, both of them, it's very important to detect which kind of child is going to come. I remember when I met ISKCON in the beginning, we had that the Grihasthas before they meet, the Mataji should chant 50 rounds of japa, the Prabhuji 50 rounds of japa. And that way they can have good consciousness and the baby will be a very nice child. Yes. So the consciousness before the union of a man and a woman is very, very important. So we will have got that chance. No? That's why I developed these qualities. Everything is by before birth. Not that your son is born and you are trying to send him into the best polytechnic college in your country. Take big money to send him to the best school. But his intelligence is already in the NDA. See, the consciousness of the mother and the consciousness of the father, you add it together, that is the consciousness of the baby. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Maharaj. Anyone else? Maharaj, you were talking about how Krishna protects his devotees under all circumstances. And there were many times, many instances where Arjuna was about to commit suicide and Krishna saved him.
Yes.
Now, there are some devotees who believe that once you leave your body in the dawn, once you leave your body in the dawn, you attain liberation, or you attain a higher dimension. And so this is like an unspoken thing, but there have been few instances, few occasions where devotees have committed suicide. There was recently one place where a devotee had committed suicide. I attended the funeral, and there were many great ISKCON leadership there, and they were all saying nice things about this devotee. But I was so shocked. I did not hear anybody say anything to discourage devotees not to commit suicide. They were just talking about how nice the devotee was. And so recently there was a devotee who also jumped over a story building and committed suicide. There are many things that could lead somebody to commit suicide. I know that is there, but what do we do? How do we try to discourage devotees from committing suicide? And my question is it true that if one commits suicide in the dam, he attains a better place?
Okay. I've never heard that one. But what I know is that committing suicide for any reason, any time, you must become a ghost. For instance, if someone, Brahma gave somebody, let's say, 50 years to live, and at the age of 25, you get angry because some reason, take a gun, kill yourself, or you jump in a river, you drown yourself, you commit suicide at the age of 25. And the remaining 25 years, the agent of the universe, they will not give you another physical body because you didn't die naturally. You killed yourself. So you kill yourself, so you must be punished. So you will be in the ghostly body for the remaining period, the 25 years, you remain like that. But there are some situations where the ghost can take some prasad and get back is normal form. That is there also. Okay, but generally those who commit suicide, because the body was given to us for a certain period based on our karma, and we are not accepting our karma, and we are complaining to the higher authority that this body you gave me, the karma you gave me, I don't like it. I don't like your karma. Who created that karma for you? It's yourself. So committing suicide means you are becoming a rebel. A rebel. So must be punished for that. So this one, committing suicide at the time of dawn, that will encourage suicide, I'm sure. But I don't think it is there in the scripture. If there is a verse or a shloka somewhere, yes. But this is, I think this is people are saying, so this speculation. If there is a quotation somewhere or a quote, yes, I would like to see that.
Well, thank you so much, Maharaj. I was hoping to hear something like what you just said during the celebration of the departed devotee, the devotee who committed suicide. I was expecting something like what you just said from the leadership. There were some of ISKCON gurus, sannyasis there who spoke, but nobody said anything to discourage devotees from maybe attempting to do that in the future. So thank you very much. And I hope we all learn from what you just told us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anadi Prabhu, Anadi Nidanam. You may unmute.
Yeah, Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. But Guru Maharaj, please, in regards to Prabhu Sahadev question concerning suicide, I think Shiva's Vanachari is on this platform right now. He gave a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam on this very platform. I think somewhere last year, that when your body, you think you can no more use it in Krishna consciousness, you can put the body to some situation. I think he is here. If he can contribute to that part so that we get a clear picture of what actually is talking about, that will be glad, because the story is interesting to me.
You see?
Hare Krishna, am I muted?
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anandini Dhanam Prabhu.
Yeah.
That incident is that it talks about, it's a specific situation.
Okay.
It's not a general situation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like somebody is, what do you call it? Maybe like a vanaprastha or a sannyasi who is old and invalid.
Okay.
Yeah, he's old and invalid, and he cannot even maintain the body
Okay.
So it is advised that one can fast till death. It's recommended, is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, that in such a situation, one can fast, one can deny himself food, and then he can fast till death.
Yes.
That is recommended, but it's not that one
Because when
can.
you're still young.
Yeah, a young man who can still do some service, and he's healthy, he's strong. Then he goes to commit suicide, jump from a tall building, hang himself on a rope, or take some poison. That is condemned. But if the fellow is very old, he's invalid, he cannot move, he cannot do anything, and he's still alive. So the best recommendation is that such a person can fast till death. Yeah, so that is mentioned, especially for vanaprasthas who are in the forest, trying to give up attachments. It is said that one can fast till death. But that is not considered suicide.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
There is
Thank you, Maharaj.
when the devotees become whole, they enter what is called samadhi. You don't accept any food. You don't talk to anybody. You talk with only few people, and they always read. Some people read the scriptures for them. Even our Gurudev at this point was only accepting few people in his room. When the doctors declared that yes, they can't do anything again, then okay, he said, well, so he started fasting, water not drinking, nothing. We were only eating Chaitanya Charitamrita till left the body. Yes.
Yeah, even the Pandavas, they also went through the same procedure. When they left Hastinapur and they were walking up the Himalayas, they stopped eating. And so, depending on their ability to tolerate or to go through the austerity, they were falling one by one. Even the Tarastras, Gandhari, all of them, they went through that process of fasting till death. The scripture recommends that. Prem is here, Bhakti Vedanta man is here, our only Bhakti Vedanta. So, Prem, what do you say about that?
Hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, don't know what to pronounce. I don't have anything to say now. Whatever you have said is enough for us for now. So I'm at your lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Actually, I remember this. I think it was Ganga Prashad Prabhu who gave class and did mention something like that. And His Grace Srivasvanachari also said something to affirm that. And I asked if he could kindly give me the quotation, which he did. So I went and read. But excuse me, I don't remember the verse, but it's somewhere in Canto 7 of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM.
Yeah.
But Anadi, do you have something to say?
Yeah, the title is Ideal Family Life. Is under that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what it is just what His Grace Srivasvanachari was explaining, that it's a particular discipline, and it does not just begin from fasting. You start from somewhere till it leads you to fasting. And I do not find that to be anything strange because by nature, when someone is ill and is about to die, the body naturally stops taking in any food. You cannot eat because the body cannot digest it. And that is one painful thing I see. Like, it's like the person just fasts to death because the person cannot eat. And so it's not like somebody consciously killing himself per se, like Maharaj was saying. So that is different. It's different from somebody saying, I cannot pay my bill, people are harassing me, so let me just finish my life, which is different. Hare Krishna.
Even Srila Prabhupada also went through that. And I think the last 1 or 2 months, Srila Prabhupada ate nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Even our Gurudev Bhaktitam Maharaj, I was fortunate to be here and seeing it. He was eating until it got to a point he stopped. And he did not stop because he just wanted to stop, but the body just wouldn't take anything. So, okay, Shrika Vikanapu Prabhu, please unmute.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. I pay my respectful obeisances to Holiness Bhakti CARUDESNA Swami Maharaj and his grace Shrivas Vanachari Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances and all the senior Vaishnavas on the platform. So I want to appreciate the way Maharaj answered the question that committing suicide is like you want to jump out of the prison house before the time. So the way Maharaj explained it was very wonderful. You are in a prison house. Many people don't even know that it's a prison house. So that you are in a prison house and you want to escape the prison house. So when they bring you back, your punishment will be double because you are not going to go anywhere. So the punishment is that the person remains in a subtle body. You cannot eat anything again. You'll be seeing all the things you like. You cannot go inside. So the punishment is times 2. So I really appreciate the way Maharaj, gave the example of like you want to leave the prison house on time because just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu condemned me to Shila Rupa Goswami or Sanatan, one of them. He wanted to commit. He said, "Do you think your body belongs to you?" So the same thing also. So even devotee will not think about it. So thank you very much, Maharaj, the way you answered that question. And but my own question is that sometimes we can see in the material world because why people commit suicide. If you analyze, if you go and truly analyze sometimes why people commit suicide. Sometimes it's just that the people see that there is no way out from the kind of situation they found themselves. Like it's like this cocoon that we use normally give example. You just make the net around yourself and you cannot escape again. And the thing becomes very complicated. Even devotees. So the thing is that why is it that even devotees, why coming to Krishna consciousness, devotional service, like we had the other day? Keshava Prabhu was telling me the experience that she saw the Mataji. Hey, we come to program, this, that. But the next thing they saw, the person is just dropped from the top of the building, bam, even though she was in the Vrindavan and everything. So why is it that even coming in contact with devotional service, that mentality, because it's a mentality and it's particular to some people, sometimes it's hereditary also, maybe family problem and it's inside the blood. Because it's not ordinary to commit. So why is it that even when devotee come to the process, that tendency does not leave, even though they know they have heard that will not give them liberation? So Maharaj, please help me through more light. Even devotee, generally we understand the materialistic, but devotee chanting Hare Krishna, hearing the scripture, if the devotion service is so blissful, why is it that tendency is still there?
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, this mention of devotees. We know clearly that we have 3 level of devotees. We have Kanistas, we have Madhyam, and we have Uttamas. So when you say devotee, what is caliber of that devotee? There is one book called Vaishnava K. Which type of Vaishnava are you? Vaishnava K. Which type of Vaishnava are you? So we are devotees. Okay, what is our the potency of our devotion? What is our attachment to Krishna? For somebody to commit suicide as a devotee means there are some problems that you are not being able to remove for a long time. I mentioned the nectar of devotion, that the 6 characteristics of pure devotion service. The first 2, there are 6, but the first 2 are very important. First is kleshagni. All our pleasures must disappear if you practice serious devotion service. And you bring, what do you call it? Shubhada. Everything auspicious around us. If everything is very auspicious around us, what is the idea of going to the community society? No matter what the situation is, we could think of everything, but we forgot that Krishna is the last solution. See, that's sometimes you don't just devotees also externally. One may appear not the good devotee, but the inside is a good devotee. Someone also may appear very nice devotee, but also inside not very good devotee. So you don't judge externally. Yes, the thing that we see, we don't go very deep. If we don't test, test the Mahamantra, then sometimes we remain at the surface. Why we have this yoga ladder? Sometimes we just use it when we're doing a course. The yoga ladder from Shraddha to Prema. Before getting to Prema, we have Bhava. Before Bhava, we have Ashakti. Before Ashakti, we have Ruchi. Ruchi means test. That junction is very, very, very important. So it seems like many devotees does not get to that level of Ruchi. At the point, you don't have taste in what we are doing. You don't have taste in our japa, no taste in our reading, no taste in our association with devotees. And because the soul is by nature blissful, that's Ananda, Anandamayo Vyasa. So whatever we do that is not bringing joy, we must stop that thing. The soul is always rankling bliss in any direction. So if you are doing something that we are not getting bliss, at least we say, okay, as I was in the material world, I was enjoying my beer, my cigarette, I was at least getting some joy there. And this devotion service, I don't feel any joy. Japa every day, Mangalati every day, I don't feel any joy. Because we don't go deep into the practice sometimes. So that is not the why devotees. Yes, we are all devotees, but what is our the level of our devotion service? Why we chant the shloka, the last shloka for Sister Kam. This last one, no? Why we chant that? Krishna can embrace me and can also disappear from our side. It's always, you always be my Lord without condition. You have to come to that level also. So no situation can disturb our life. So come to the point of committing suicide means we forgot Krishna. Because Krishna is the last solution. Krishna should be our last solution. Yeah, we may try many ways, but the last one should be Krishna. I think that last lady, she was in Vrindavan. If you took time, at least go to Yamuna or go to the temple, sit down there, listen to because there is 24 hours kirtan every day in Vrindavan. At least if she went there to sit down from morning till evening with the Mahamantra, with the sun vibration, that could have helped her. But she forgot that. And because the remembrance of Krishna was not enough. Huh? You have to remember the first 3 of the 9 angas, no? You have to remember, you have to Shravana, Chaitanya and Smaranam. When you listen very attentively, then we glorify, and we will remember Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj was remembering Krishna in all situations, all danger, all calamities. Prahlad Maharaj was always saying, Jai Shri Hari, Jai Shri Hari, Jai Shri Hari. Why she could not remember Krishna? Why? It depends. It depends. So, yeah, devotees different like Kalibas. Different.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Maharaj. Shri
Okay, Kavitanapa Prabhu.
Kavikanapa Prabhu.
Yeah, yes, Maharaj. So, yes, Maharaj, thank you very much. I love the way you explain, but I'm just trying to think more about, like, let's say for the society in general. Like we have in the Western world, it's common in the Western world, like in Africa, it's not very common that they have these people that when you have some difficulty in your life, people go to the people, they are professionals, and they help you go through the, I don't know what they call them, I forgot, but what do they call those kind of specialists? Where people go through their mental health and maybe addicts or distress or maybe stress or anxiety.
Psychotherapist, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so yes, because Maharaj, what you are saying is for very pure devotees. So
psychotherapy.
Psychotherapy, yes. So it is for pure devotee, and pure devotee, because they are very absorbed in pure devotional service, they will not be able to be carried away by the material distress and anxiety, frustration, and all the rest that is going on. Like people like you now, you are pure devotee. You only. I was discussing with one devotee the other day, and he was telling me, see, life of brahmachari is very simple. Only you and Krishna, nothing else. Only you and Krishna, nothing else, nothing between. But a grihastha life, you know, so many, like Pastor Prabhu say, bills, school fees, and the rent, and all the bills are there. So some people, sometimes some Mataji, they are growing old, no Prabhuji, so the frustration, it will not be that time. We will not be able to concentrate on Hare Krishna Mantra. So I just thinking, well, as a society, is it not good that we have like this kind of spiritual psychotherapists, like devotees who are professionals in that field? Yeah. They are there, and everybody knows know them. And sometimes maybe they can help this kind of devotees out in this kind of situation, because sometimes, most of the time, even these devotees who commit suicide, maybe they just after the lecture, that is when they are going to do commit suicide, because for them this is philosophy. But what I'm passing through is so. Maharaj, what do you think about like a practical way of helping devotees out of their mental? You know, some devotees are mentally unstable sometimes, you know, because of what they are passing through, but we don't know. People don't know. So, but pure devotee is very easy, absorb, and you know, pure devotee and everything is okay. So, what do you think, Maharaj? Please help me to contribute more on this. Yeah.
Very good. What we are saying. Actually, we are already this Vaishnava care section in ISKCON is right there. And when you say care, not only physical care, also economic care, also emotional care also is there. Different level of care are there. And also the devotee must be open, just like the Sikh loving exchange between Vaishnavas, revealing, you know, our minds to a friend. So if you don't reveal our mind to people, if you hide, we keep it on our own. So we don't know, and we will keep it. We first till for many years, and before we know, we react. So you need to be honest also. You know, when you have a situation. Sometimes our problem, we think that it's shameless. Or if I tell my problem to people, they will laugh at me. If you do that, then we keep the problem alone and we die alone. So even though we have the best psychotherapist in the world as devotee, but if the devotee is not humble to approach them and reveal his, because before a doctor cures you, must tell him why you are suffering, what you are suffering from. If you don't tell him, how will he cure you? So we will also be ready to reveal our mind to such person Okay, I think you go to the temple like Chopati, they have something like that. They have something like that. When people are growing old and they kind of meeting some kind of many frustration, there are some people they can meet to give them some advice, but not only just advice, but also support that with some spiritual activities. Because if you give someone only advice and no spiritual support, at the point you say that advice, but what can help me to cross over this situation? It's a problem. You must transcend that problem. Advice is there, fine, but some practice also. Some activities, some sadhana, some sadhusanga, some prasad, changing environment, some parikram, things like that. It's a package, not
Thank
just
you very much,
advice.
Maharaj. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Maharaj, I'm lucky. I'm almost here 5 days in a week, and those who frequent here, I'm sure they know me to be asking questions, and sometimes my questions are like in a very raging manner. And the reason why I sometimes ask questions like that is because sometimes I expect speakers to speak like what you just spoke, how we, the ordinary devotees, can use the teachings in our daily lives and benefit from it. Because apart from philosophy, I think it's also partly cultural. Like Kavikana Prabhu was saying, suicide is not so common in Africa as much as it is in the West, because in the West, the way they live is different. The economic problems somebody may be going through here and would think that this is too much, I have to end my life. Somebody is going through that same life in Africa, and he doesn't see it as a problem, but here he sees it as a problem. And so in the same Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told Arjuna that when Arjuna didn't want to fight, Krishna, convincing Arjuna, told him that for one who is honored, dishonor is worse than death. And so there are some people who may be going through so much difficulties, and they seem not to find any way out. And looking at where they used to be and where they are now, they feel, after all, Krishna, this is what Krishna says, and so I will end my life. And that is why when devotees are speaking, of course, I'm also not there yet, but every time I speak, I try to think how whatever I'm saying from the scriptures can be beneficial to the people listening. And sometimes I do not see that from the devotees. And when I do not see that, I ask questions. And sometimes some people may think that, oh, this Dave is always asking a silly question. That is not the case, Maharaj. So, in fact, I really appreciate your class today because it's very practical, and you are encouraging us to gradually evolve to a platform where these thoughts will not even come. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, and your love. And thank you all, everyone, for being here. Today is Friday. It's the end of the week. Srivas Vanachari, do you have anything else to say before we close?
Thank you very much.
Well, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hey, our ISKCON teacher, Chaitanya Prem Prabhu, don't be silent. You are a teacher. Please say something before we close. Okay.
I think he's gone.
He's gone, okay. All right, so at this point, we ask all the devotees to unmute, and then we chant Big Hare Krishna to express our appreciation for Maharaj's presence. Jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yeah, His Holiness Bhakti KRSNA Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
All glories to His Grace, Acharya Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai.
Vanchakalavyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Gayatri Devi ki Jai.